And welcome back to the Free for All Frenzy in association with HCS Grassroots and Divine Mind. And now we turn our attentions to Group F. We've got Squashy, Lunny, and Sparky in here. This is going to be tasty, Harry.
Yeah, it really is. I've had time now to settle down after the first group that we saw. It was absolute madness. A real nail biter right to the end. Hopefully, this group produces much of the same. We got some real heavy hitters in here, as you said. Sparky is a player I know in particular that likes free-for-all competitions. I used to compete in a lot of the Beyond tournaments back in the day, back when Halo 5 was in its prime, got to the finals of some of them. So this really should be quite a tasty affair that we have ahead of us here.
We have a tasty one lined up, and as the lobby starts, we start loading in the truth again. Do you have your top three predictions for this? What way do you see it going?
Oh, I think I called this earlier, and I wouldn't want to contradict myself from my predictions. So I'll tell you what, I'll go back and find them. But there are some very strong players in this group.
I feel like you should know them off top hand if you've.
I really should, but you never know. The brain of Wonder Boy really sometimes just goes astray and just does what it wants. Right, let's have a look here. Who did I have? Who are you? Group F, I had Squashy, Lunny, and Sparky. Yeah, so pretty much what I was going to say anyway. Just have to double check, just to remain consistent. But I think these three are probably the strongest, both individually and also in the free-for-all sense of the game as well. So hopefully they can come through and make me proud.
So as Harry has gone back and confirmed with Harry, he will now have his predictions. And Lunny falls to Squashy. He'll take an early lead. No, he will not. As Sparky gets himself a double kill. He's up and running. He's on the board.
Yeah, we'll see what Sned can do. Lovely bloke, Sned. Met him a couple of times at some European Halo events. Good to see him still kicking around. He'll have high hopes in this group as well, but needs to try and capitalise on some of those kill steals. And look at that, Sparky with the early camo grab. Oh, it's Lunny actually using Sparky's service tag actually there. So that's maybe a bit of mind games going on, but... Good, camouflage grab there early on. And so that should put Lunny really in a decent position. Good perfect by Sned. He'll go down though. And we'll see what remains for the rest of this game.
It appears as though mind games have well and truly been played, as Sparky and Les both have the same call sign. So they're really just trying to send us through a loop here, and that's all it is. Trying to keep us on our toes, and we're up to the challenge, Harry.
This is it. I thought it was Lunny. Apparently it's less. What do I know? Might need to head on over to Specsavers. But yeah, I mean, it should be an interesting one. I wish players wouldn't do that. It really grinds my gears, but what do I know? Sparky up in P2. I know we're not looking at him right now, but he just got a decent trade. So that will maintain his pursuit of first place. Meanwhile, Harshly kind of stuck under the base, not really being too active in the game so far, just waiting for players. Oftentimes in free-for-all, if you are just the one waiting for players to come your way, it won't help you out. And harshly, Aiden, you've been in my stream a few times. If you're in my stream tomorrow, I'm going to give you a bit of stick for that one. That's a bit of a misplay.
That's the reversal. You don't want to see that. And we were touched upon Sned, and he's turned around there and given him the absolute razzle-dazzle business. So fair play to him, and maybe hang your head in shame, Aiden. It's time to bounce back from that. Lunny picks up a nice 5 onto T and Crumpets, really controlling this P side of the map. There's a double kill. Can he turn this into a triple C? Sparky in the base, gets him down to no shields. That's only really helping the other player in that gunfight. He tries to get involved car side, but dead bodies just falling everywhere for Lunny right now. He's trying to find a fight, but bodies just hitting the floor, as the old song goes. And killing spree for Lunny. That's another double kill, and he's starting off hot.
Yeah, it really is, and these are the types of kills that you do need to string together to try and keep pace with the likes of Sparky and the likes of Squashy Josh, who, as we touched upon before, very individually talented, have a brain for the free-for-all side of the game as well. Lunny finally will go down. We'll take a quick look at the scoreboard. Squashy with an early lead. Les actually up there ahead of the likes of Sparky and Sned. So Sparky so far off to a bit of a slow start. He'll need to turn his FFA hopes around if he wants to finish in the top 3 here.
Yeah, it seems as though Sparky seems to be a little bit less than Sparky right now. He needs to light himself up, get himself firing on all cylinders. He's just like missed in the last game. Started off a little bit cold. He's down in 7th place. He was one of my favourites to maybe make it to the final and go all the way. Starting off cold right now. Is he a little bit rusty? How much Halo 5 has he been playing? Has this free-for-all just roped him back in, Harry?
It's a good question. It's one that will need answering if Sparky doesn't finish in the top 3 here. You can see in the kill feed a nice double from him will help him set His hopes are light, hopefully. Squashy, though, picking off a spawner there in Flying Squirrel. And we spoke in the previous round about the Carbine side of the map being so prevalent. If you can catch those spawners, especially in this 8-man free-for-all game mode, you're honestly, if you spawn bubble, you're always going to have a fight on that side of the map. And something that I would like to see players maybe try and dominate a bit more, as Lunny will be able to try and stay alive so far. He has a couple of players to contend with here in red. Might just dip down and then re-challenge to see if anyone's weak, but can't make the jump, and instead will go down.
This is the play sometimes. When you spawn up bubble, you almost know for a fact there's a player in that opposite bubble, and if you get that kill, is almost try and just stay in your bubble and just keep fighting players that spawn in bubble, because you know there's a guaranteed spawner there every single time.
Yeah, if you like taking one-on-ones, it's a really prevalent tactic. Sometimes it's not enough. You're almost relying on yourself to win one-on-ones constantly in a row, back to back to back, if you are going to contend with the top. So sometimes it's nice to take that one-on-one. If you win it, obviously, you then go on to try and find some more kills. But you should, try and keep in mind that other players will be taking one-on-one fights over on that side of the map. So that's a potential hot spot on the map. You can maybe get some kill steals off as... Well, Harshly's going to do his best to try and get himself back into this game. A little bit off the pace so far, though. He goes down, as does Squashy. Flying Squirrel, dead bodies all over the place. We jump on board with Lunny. He gets a double and is now just 2 kills away from first place.
Camouflage now for less. Maybe we should jump on board with him, see what he can do. He's in 4th place at the moment. He's got 15 kills, only 1 kill behind Harshley, 3 behind Lunny. He just seems to be surveying his options.
I like this here from Les. Sorry to cut you off, Richie, but it's a privilege you have when you grab the camouflage and get away with it on truth, that you can play patient and just pick your fights. You don't have to be forced into these engagements like this. He could have stolen that kill right there. Doesn't do so. Instead, will settle for just the 1. Could have been 2 though, but that's the privilege that you get when you grab that camouflage. You can choose and pick on the fights. Won't kill Sparky there though. Maybe should have, and that'll just gift Lunny a nice double. Maybe a bit of a misplay there. Could have made a lot more of that camouflage, but in the end, it will just be, what was it, the 1 kill for the return on camouflage there?
Yeah, just the 1 kill. He was alive for a very long time, didn't really get to utilize it and turn that into kills. And Sparky, he has all to do right now. Lunny had that EMP, that plasma pistol, that microwave that just shreds your shields, and he was really utilizing that well, getting players down to no shields, immediately switching to his pistol. The old noob combo in full effect, as Lunny now gets to find himself in a fight on P2. He kills Squirrel, but then also falls to Harshley. The 5-fingered balled into a fist and in his visor. Now we're on board with Squashy. What can he do?
Well, just taking a look at the scoreboard for the fight for 3rd place currently. I mean, the lead is on 23. Well, they're both tied on 23 actually. Harshly moves into a joint 1st place position. You then have Lunny on, well, now 23, so plenty of players up there in the top 3, but less Sparky. I mean, they've fallen a bit off the pace here, and Harshly's really strung together some good kills, so it's going to be up to Sparky, and it's going to be up to Les to maybe try and close the deficit. Sparky, the last few times I've jumped onto him, has been the beneficiary of a couple of multi-kills here and there, which is what you like to see if you're in an FFA lobby, when you can get those kill steals off. It's always a beneficial situation for you, and it looks like just off screen he's picked up yet another double, so it's going to help him out in this kind of situation when you are down, as Harshly finally takes him down, that he can capitalize on those multi-kills. But he's so far off of 3rd place currently. Plenty of Halo to play, but 5 kills down at this stage is going to be tricky for Sparky to come back from.
It's a great display out of Harshley now, I have to say. We didn't have him picked as one of the top 3, but he's making us choose and maybe almost swallow our pride and say, listen, you're a force to be contended with. As now he's up to 27 kills and actually tops the score. If he can maintain this sort of run, we'll be looking at him going towards the next round.
Yeah, needs to have a bit more awareness about him there, though, just turning his back to Squashy, who in fairness did have the camouflage, but I like the way Squashy's playing this over on the Carbine side, just waiting for those one-on-one fights maybe to materialize, to get some kill steals off. But you're right, Harshly's hanging in there and has actually taken the lead here in this lobby. So, I mean, if he can maintain this, absolutely brilliant. I mean, surely he'll be in the top 3, but that's going to really put damps on the hopes of the players maybe trying to squeeze into that top 3 come the end of the game. It's all about if Harshly can maintain this pace. He's fallen off a bit now to Squashy, who got a couple of kill steals, so we'll just have to see whether or not he can maintain this sort of motivation and this level of gameplay all the way to the end. Still 3.5 minutes to play.
The top 5 made that 2nd to 5th, still alive on the map now, looking to do some damage. Sparky backs down a player in P2, and now he's this seems to happen to him time and time again. He gets a player weak, that player gets away, he's cleaned up in the back, and he's really starting to struggle. But he has got himself to 23 kills, and then 4 or 5 more kills, he will be top 3. So if he can muster up a little run here, maybe a killing spree, we will see him make that late charge towards 3rd place. Oh, still 3 minutes to play with.
I mean, we saw it in the last game, didn't we? With Mister, he was able to get those kill steals, get a bit of fortune in his favour. If that can happen to any of the players outside of the top 3, it's certainly possible that we could see a change. But as it stands, it's Squashy, Harshly, and Lunny, the top 3 in this lobby. We'll see if there's anyone who has anything to say about it. Les is just 3 points behind Lunny, but with a player like Lunny's experience, you don't expect him to fall off. For the remainder of this game, you expect him to keep chiming in with kills. As I say that, Les actually takes down Lunny, so that will blow Les's hopes, wide open. Put him on the hype train, surely.
Yeah, in free for all. You know, just as quick as you can go on a good run, you can go on a bad run, and Halo was a cruel mistress. Sometimes she giveth and sometimes she taketh away, and Squashy and Harshly now tied for 1st place on 34 kills, but Harshly has got 1 less death, so neck and neck as Camouflage is on board with Lunny. Can he utilise this? Can he turn this into some kills?
Just expect Lunny here to play a bit patient. I'm not sure if this will work out in his favour, actually, if he can kill steal effectively, as he did just there on players around him as well, no less. Sparky and Les. That's a huge play. I was going to say, when he's, contending for that 3rd place position, maybe up into the top 3 as well. Sometimes playing slow and patient with the camouflage can almost stunt your growth in terms of kills. So it's good for him that he was able to get a double kill out of it. 2 kills for the return of the camouflage. Not the worst return in the world, especially when you kill 2 players who are contending for your position. Important
to note, Les is on 31 kills, and the cut-off point in the last game for 4th place was 35 kills, so he's almost there. And if that is the benchmark, will 36 kills be enough, or elsewhere is there more kills floating around in the different groups? We'll have to soon find out as these groups start to take shape and these players progress. But Squashy still leading the pack by 2 now as he heads towards the respawn screen. And Harshly, I have to say, big props to him. He's hanging in there, 35 kills, playing very, very well, playing some good Halo as he finds himself into a fight on car 2. He shuts down Squirrel, but then is killed by Les.
Well, if there's going to be a player to creep into this top 3 and maybe throw a spanner in the works, right now it's Les. He's just 1 kill behind Lunny, makes it tied up. They do have the same amount of deaths currently, but look at the assist difference for Lunny. That would be the next tiebreaker if I'm not mistaken, so this could go right down to the wire.
Sparky, Harry. Look at Sparky, Harry. He's making that charge. He's on 34 kills as well, but Les has just snuck in 35 kills with only 10 seconds left. Can we jump on board with Sparky? Can he make some damage here? He's behind Squashy Josh. Can he get the back whack? He gets that kill. He's up to 35 kills and 36 kills is less. Sparky desperately trying to find somebody, anybody, but he cannot do so. He cannot do so. It will be Squashy, Harshly, and Les. They will progress, and Lunny has slipped away and faded away. And again, on that bubble again, Harry, 35 kills.
Well, Les, well played. You are into the top 3, tied 2nd, and actually technically 2nd place in this group if Deaths is the first tiebreaker. We'll get confirmation on that. But Lunny, well, I said it would be unlikely for him to really slip off into the rest of the game. He actually did fall off, and Les, with a really decent, late game resurgent, almost a last gasp resurgence in the end, is now into the top 3. Lunny, I think I'm hearing from elsewhere, 34 is the 4th placed wildcard in the previous round. So any 4th player above 34 will be in a wildcard spot. So that bodes well for Lunny and Sparky, but they'll both have to wait for the remaining groups to see if they've made it into the next round. That was so close. Well played to Les.
Les, he snuck in there, and he's making sure he doesn't get himself any sort of wild card. He's going straight through on merit, but Harshly, 5,100 damage, more than anybody else in the lobby, and what a real wild card he was.
Yeah, fair play. I was fully expecting to see that stock line under a player like Lunny, who is used to the fours game, is so used to just shooting everything in his sight. But harshly there that time, actually, I mean, based on his damage dealt, might feel a little hard done by that he didn't get more kills and maybe finish on top of the leaderboard come the end of the game. But that's not how FFA works. It's not about damaging the most opponents. It's about finishing those kills. And well, that's something that Lonnie, I think, will feel a bit aggrieved about, considering he had 22 assists. Absolutely crazy. How do you get 22 assists and not go through? I'll tell you how, Richie. Everyone's stealing your kills.
Stop stealing kills. That's not how FFA works. We want a real gentleman's game where everybody has 1v1s and we wait till our shields recharge. That's the only way to do this, real man style. But was Lunny guilty of resting on his laurels, as he was so far ahead, it seemed, in second and third place, that he almost took his foot off the gas and has paid the price now?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, just reading into it, I didn't see too much of his gameplay other than when he was, sneaking in doubles, triples here and there. Just looking at his stats, 22 assists, that to me just says that he was getting unlucky and people were just, coming up from behind and snatching kills away from him, which can lead to frustrations into the late game. I'm surprised a player of Lunny's caliber and experience, where he's played at the top level in the Pro League and at World Championship competitions before, has sort of succumbed to that late game slump. Now it's a bit of a nervy waiting game for Lunny to see if he's made it into the next round.
Yeah, you don't want to leave your faith elsewhere. You want to try and get through yourself and on your own merits. But this time, Lunny will have to wait to see if he makes it through on that wild card spot. So we'll go to a short break as we get the next lobby getting going. And I'll tell you something, these pre-lobbies looked pretty tasty, I have to say. So we'll see you very shortly.